Hey everyone, it's Marianna, and let's talk about The Wailing. This is a South Korean horror thriller that was in limited release in theaters this summer and just recently came out on Blu-ray. As you can see, I obviously needed to get it because, to be honest, I could not stop thinking about this film ever since I watched it. It definitely leaves an impression, and it also leaves some room for interpretation, so you'll be thinking about it for a while after you see it. The story is about this policeman who is investigating a murder because lately the villagers have been hit with a strange sickness that's causing people to turn violent, among other things. The police thinks this has to do with some wild mushrooms poisoning, but the people are saying that all of this started when this Japanese stranger arrived. Then things get more personal because the policeman's own daughter starts showing signs of the sickness. Now, when I saw that this movie was 2 hours and 37 minutes long, I immediately became skeptical because in my experience, movies really don't need to be that long, especially when it comes to horror. So imagine my surprise when I was immediately immersed in The Wailing and I was in it from beginning to end. I never felt like it overstayed its welcome, and the complex and detailed story that it told actually deserved this long of a runtime. What's really interesting about The Wailing is that it kind of morphs from one genre to another. It starts off as a murder mystery, then it starts feeling a lot like a possession movie, and afterwards it turns into a full-on supernatural thriller. The movie also does a great job of putting the viewer in the shoes of the main character, because throughout the whole thing, you're either not really sure who to trust and what to believe, or you think you know what's going on, but then something happens and you're not really sure anymore, again. Now, don't take this as me saying that this movie is confusing or convoluted. That's not at all what I mean, and it's not difficult to follow or anything. It's the type of film that gives you all of this information that definitely fits together. You just need time to process it, along with the lead character who's doing the exact same thing. And speaking of characters, the characters in this film are really, really interesting. There's definitely a few characters that are going to keep you guessing. You may be questioning what their motives are and whose side they're on, and they will definitely give you a lot of food for thought and some things to theorize about. The whole mystery thriller part of the film is extremely well done, and it's all wrapped in so many interesting cultural details that I immediately wanted to learn more about them. So there was quite a bit of Googling happening on my part after I finished watching the movie, which, as you know, I love when the movie can actually make me interested to learn more and to do research. Finally, is The Wailing scary? Now, I think it's a pretty important question to ask because we're talking about a horror film here. It has quite a few disturbing scenes. It does have some graphic violence, so if you're kind of sensitive about that, that's there. It has a lot of really, really good tension throughout the entire film and a lot of sense of doom, which is very important in my opinion in a horror movie. But the most important part, and the thing I find the scariest about horror films, is that it stays with you after you finished watching it. I actually had to read some Harry Potter after this movie because I was trying to go to sleep and I kept thinking about the film and all of these images were coming back up, and I kept overanalyzing what happened there because, like I said, there is some room for interpretation there. So I needed to take my mind off it, but then I woke up and I was thinking about it again. So yes, I would say it's pretty scary. It's just not the kind of scary that terrifies you as you're watching it. Like I said, there are some disturbing scenes and there is a lot of good tension, but the scarier part is that it stays with you and it just embeds itself into your brain and you're gonna keep thinking about it. To me, that's way more terrifying than jump scares that are there and then you forget about them. As you can tell, I really enjoyed The Wailing, and the fact that I bought it on Blu-ray almost immediately after it was released should tell you a lot about how I feel about this movie. I think it's an absolute must-watch for any horror fan because it's one of the best horror films, not just of the year, but generally one of the best recent horror films that I've seen because it has a lot going on. It's also one of those films that you watch and you finish and then you want to see it again because now you have all this knowledge at the end and you want to see how that changes your perspective for the rest of the film as you're watching it again, because the ending definitely is a little bit open, but it gives you just enough information to keep analyzing it and to keep looking for clues. So definitely a really good film to rewatch as well. One of my favorite films of 2016. Hands down. I'm going to give The Wailing 4.5 out of 5 stars. I was really close to giving it 5 out of 5, but I rarely give a movie 5 out of 5 without seeing it again. So it's very possible this will go up to 5 out of 5 after I see it again and after I pick up on more details and realize how amazing this film is. But I really cannot recommend this enough because The Wailing is excellent. That's it for my review of The Wailing. Let me know if you guys have seen this movie and what did you think of it. I would love to talk to you about it in the comments below because there is so much to discuss. The characters that may or may not have flipped on you throughout the film. There's a lot to talk about, so let's talk about it in the comments below. Just warn people about spoilers. Please, let's not ruin this for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, which I'm assuming a lot of people haven't. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I will see you tomorrow with another 13 Days of Halloween video. Bye!